It's lights out and away we go!
And what's up, guys and girls, and welcome back to the F1 podcast. I am joined by Alan.
Hello.
And David.
Not Crofty, the other one. Sorry, folks.
So, Canada.
Oh, Canada.
Well, the
Doesn't
rendition
love
of
it.
the rendition of the national anthem was something.
Hey, look, no one's ever going to beat frigging the Dutch rock band version, so that competition's dead before it starts.
Well, or the out of tune. Was it the out of tune? Was it Azerbaijan was out of tune?
Yeah.
It sounded awful. So, didn't obviously catch any practice, so I don't know what the hell happened.
A lot of rain from what I saw on Facebook, but yeah, I didn't see any of it myself.
There was no real FP1. Red flag come out after one of the Alpines stopped on track, and then they lost all cameras. Even though broadcasting cameras were fine, race control had lost all CCTV cameras around the track.
Oh, right.
Which is why they added an extra 30 minutes onto FP2, which ended up being a powerboat race at the end.
Yeah, not the first time that's happened in Canada.
The heavens opened.
Bit like last night, then.
Aye.
So going down the straight towards World Champions was just a washout.
When's it not? Hadn't they done something to Wall of Champions, speaking of the Wall of Champions? Didn't they put some sort of barrier in front of it this year?
No. Turn 1 and 2, where you got that grass runoff on the right hand side, they put a barrier there this year, which actually was a lot more dangerous, especially for cars having to rejoin, because they're literally at a 90-degree angle having to rejoin the track. Drivers brought it up several times in meetings, and they've removed one section on the actual race day, but even that wasn't wide enough.
Doesn't surprise me, the FIA bumbling things again.
But yes, they'd also apparently moved the because the re-entry point, if you ran wide there, it ended up being a lot tighter, and as a result, 'cause the piece of tarmac was a lot narrower.
Yeah.
Well, the bit where you blew your tyres out in the game.
No. Yeah, they changed that. Well, we're talking about turn 1 here.
Gotta say. Oh,
if you
yeah.
you went straight on at turn 1, there was a little piece of tarmac you had to use to re-enter. You weren't allowed to just straight line it back onto the track. So it was the same on that last corner. It was the same on turn 4 as well. There was a little barrier you had to go round.
Yeah.
Could they not made that any more tighter than barriers? They look really narrow.
I think they leave them. I think they reluctant to make them too tight after. Was it Sainz at Russia tried to go through them full speed? Screwed it up and ended up smacking the barrier.
Yeah.
I remember Alonso did it and managed it, and then I think Sainz tried it and just got his angle a little bit off.
Yeah.
And so as a result now, while they're there to try and slow the cars down so they can't just full speed it back onto the track, they don't want to make them impossible. Plus, you don't want a massive speed disparity. Because this is that last corner, they're rejoining onto that straight where cars are grabbing DRS. If he's coming on at walking pace, there's already bombing down at 100 mile an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why you got that little. If you're going off track on those last corners on the World Champions, you have to. If you're going off, basically you're coming off, you've got to rejoin past a certain marker point.
Yeah. But
So
I
that
also
you're not
also as
on the
well,
second line.
Canada's always had that issue where if someone's entering the pit lane, it puts them on a very different track, and the amount of times cars nearly went off because they nearly followed someone.
Mm.
Yeah, because you miss your breaking point. It
You
messes.
brake later if you're going into the pits. Now, if you're right behind someone, they go into pits. It's very easy for you not to realise.
Mm,
I mean, of course, we saw Magnussen again in the race. One, it nearly got the back of Sainz.
and
I think it was
you,
Sainz.
yeah, and you roll.
Mm. Yeah.
Both have very, very close calls.
Mm,
They did during the pit stops and all.
yeah.
But quali first.
Yeah. It was
I've-
just.
I think Ferrari were very lucky and did get a free place for a penalty.
Thanks, you mean, for blocking, because that was awful.
That was
He-
definitely an impede.
But he was
Mm.
doing it in free practice as well. Done it twice in free practice as well. So
Yeah. But yeah, they were lucky there to escape that one, because let's say that could have been a massive accident right there.
yeah, and
Last corner.
you can't just blame the driver. You've got to blame the team for that.
Oh yeah, the team was supposed to be sort of keeping warning them.
Yeah, they have to give them updates as much as possible. But obviously, it messes the fastest lap up and didn't qualify.
Yeah.
That's it. I said that to my dad on the run up. He's like, it's a difficult one to judge because obviously even the 3 place bid penalty didn't affect him as much as Pierre. But then again, you couldn't just say right, put Sainz behind Gasly because that's not.
Mm.
Yeah,
It's a difficult one to call.
But it wasn't just Sainz, though, was it? It was Yuki and Stroll
Mm.
got
but
free place grid penalties as well.
I think the science one was the worst.
Oh yeah.
I mean, well done to Williams and Alex Albon for getting their Q2 just right.
Oh yeah.
Coming,
Mm.
being first team out and soft, played perfectly for them.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, because oh
A lot of other teams were still running the Inters, and Williams went straight out on softs.
yeah.
And because of the rain coming in, it worked in their favour.
Well, it was one of those situations where I actually don't even understand why Max went back out in Q3. I wouldn't even bother putting the car on the track. There was no way anybody was going to get near him.
No,
So
I mean he went quicker on his second lap, and the conditions were getting worse.
And then by the time they had the red flag and they come back out, nobody was going to get anywhere near.
No,
so obviously according to the news article on the F1 website, obviously Sainz had stated that he was surprised that the driver of car 22, which is obviously Yuki, overtook him into turn 13, and as a result, he accelerated late to start his fast lap, said the steward's report. The driver of car 10, Gasly, stated that the driver of car 55 could have and should have gone earlier. Telemetry showed a significant speed differential between car 55 and car 10.
mm-hmm.
Although the overtake move by car 22 took the driver of car 55 by surprise, It is our determination that the driver of car 55 was predominantly to blame and that he unnecessarily impeded car 10.
Well, yeah, he was in the middle of the bloody track.
Hmm.
That was the thing, yeah, that was us. I mean, alright, if you're trying to get a gap and slow down, but get right over to the other side of the track from the racing line.
Yeah.
If you're going to do tricks like that, don't do it slap bang in the middle.
Hmm. I'm just pulling up the qualifying.
I mean, well done for Hulk for getting it in second.
Yeah.
Yeah, shame it then got taken away from him again, but
Hmm.
Yeah, there was a lot of unhappy people about that. I think
and I'll firmly put myself in that category.
Ted Kravitz was.
he was fuming.
Oh, Kravitz was salty all weekend, wasn't he? It was quite funny, actually.
Too right, he was salty.
It was brilliant.
It was that bad, he even brought up Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just. I mean. I am going to say, I'm not. Honestly, the form that De Vries showed and, like, Sargent have shown in previous stuff, they're struggling. Even bloody Guan Yu Zhou's struggling in that alpha.
Mm.
Thing is, Sergeant will struggle. He's not really got a car. The upgrades, say, Williams bought were just on Albon's car.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sargent doesn't get them till Silverstone.
Yeah, so you 2 more races basically.
Yeah.
The freeze, I think. The other Terry's just not there at the moment. It's just not performing as to how well we know it can.
Yeah.
I think I've said this before, and go back to what I've said in the past. I think the problem is a lot of teams have made big jumps forward this year, and I think some teams are getting left behind.
Mm.
And I would say I think AlphaTauri are one who've kind of been left on the back full a little, because I think we've said it in previous podcasts. It's the jump forward of Alpha Aston Martin
Yeah.
that has sort of caught a lot of teams by surprise.
Yeah. I mean, they've been lucky, obviously, with this new rules and regulation with cost capping and wind tunnels, and they've been quite lucky because they get more time because of where they finished last year.
It's not just that, though. You've got to give credit the fact that the Stroll family and Aston Martin are putting big investment in brand new facilities.
Yeah.
That's playing as big a difference as the time. It's the fact that they really are pushing. They want this.
We got to drive like Alonso coming in with all that experience. He's what,
41.
41. Yeah.
But even at his age, the experience, he's not lost. He doesn't seem to have slowed down.
No,
Yeah, he's not
he
done
left.
Kimi.
He left the sport, but come back stronger.
Oh yeah,
I think if they didn't have that brake problem on the rear brake duct, they would have been challenging Red Bull this Canada.
Yeah, but Max wasn't exactly running away because apparently
he had a bird
he
stuck
had
in
a
his
bird
brake duct.
stuck in his brake duct.
I'm pretty sure Kelly wouldn't have been too chuffed about that.
Yeah.
But
Didn't see
I've said it before. I can see Aston Martin getting a win this season. It's going to take a bit of luck.
It's going to
And
take a lot of luck.
It's going to take a bit of a weird situation. There's going to be a problem for The way it was today, I said to myself at one point, all it took was one problem for that Red Bull, and Alonso was there.
Hmm?
Yeah.
And that could have been, Alonso, Verstappen nearly knocking himself out on a curb.
He nearly did.
That's what I'm referring to. But
Well,
it's
he could have done what Russell done because he
Yeah.
was riding those curbs an awful lot. But as we said before, David said before, those cars this year are built a lot stronger.
we were saying, look at Alonso's car survived that real mighty wallop with the wall.
Mm.
For Russell to hit the
Russell's
wall,
car hit the car. The car did survive. They retired it later on in the day, but
I think that was down to the brakes overheating because he wasn't gaining on anybody.
yeah. I
So,
think there was maybe an element of just look, let's not risk if there is something that's not happy
Mm.
yeah,
in the age of the cost caps and the limit on parts. You don't want to be over pushing a car that doesn't want to be pushed.
especially with Austria next, we know how quick that track can be.
Mm.
I don't know if you caught any of the build up when they did the lie detector test on Russell.
No, I think
I missed it.
I joined in about where they were doing the bit on the safety car, but also it was about that time where the weather started closing in, and and Sky was having one of its little bit of issues with the
Mm.
rain around. I don't know if you got that around, but
No.
I know.
we did. At one point I had it on the TV and I had my phone on as well.
Yeah. No,
Now the phone was actually running about a lap behind, but it was just in case the TV cut out.
yeah, I missed the lie detector, which was a bit I wanted to watch. And then I ended up
It's probably on their website. Probably on
yeah,
the
I ended
YouTube.
up catching Karun in the safety car and Burt Mylander absolutely booking it at the end and Karun looking a bit worried.
Yeah. Well, one of the questions they asked Russell was, "Are you quicker than Lewis?"
And what did he answer? Yes.
He answered yes, and he was telling the truth.
Yeah, but to be a racing driver, you've got to believe that.
Oh yeah,
Mm.
You've got to think that if you want to do anything in the sport.
Mm.
No,
I mean,
I meant to submit a question because, like I was saying to Alan again before one of the other podcasts yesterday, well, the ones that I don't bother to do them, they actually had James Vowles on.
yeah.
It was very interesting. I meant to put a question. How do you keep a team like Williams motivated? Because let's be honest, you're not turning up thinking you're going to win.
No.
So how do you keep those people motivated?
Mm.
You know what I mean? I know it sounds silly, but
just belief that you're going to finish you in points. We know it can. We know Williams can do this shit.
Which it did.
I mean,
I think
Albon.
Albon deserved driver of the day. I'll fully say it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, he changed those tyres on the safety car and defending like mad.
Yeah, but Albon's done that before. It was Australia, wasn't it?
But I think it's Crofty brought it up. There's a DRS train behind him, but they can't get past him. Even though he's not got DRS, how are they not getting past him? That's an extra 12 miles an hour they're gaining, but they just cannot get past him.
Yeah.
So it does show the upgrades they bought are working.
And it's like,
I mean, how much of Buttons had an influence on the team? Because he works with them.
Like I say, Vowles coming from Mercedes.
mm,
Yeah. Vowles knows what he wants.
It's in the same way that obviously we're going to attribute a lot of Aston Martin success to Mike coming in.
Hmm.
Because he's come from Red Bull, and I still love the early intro. I've said it before, where they were accusing him of copying Red Bull designs.
Mm.
And he turned around and said, "Look, I've watched something work for the last 3 years. I'm not just going to turn around and do totally different."
Yeah,
And I'm not.
Which I thought was a very good way of putting it.
And I'm
you're
not
gonna
gonna.
bring your experience and your knowledge and everything you know from
Yeah.
working with a team like Mercedes and Red Bull and everything else because you know what works.
At the end of the day, every team on that grid is going for the same goal.
Hmm.
And if you're watching something that's working day in, day out, you're going to give it a go. You're not going to go, well, I'm not going to do that just because I'll be accused of being copied.
It's the reason why Mercedes now have side pods.
Yeah, well, they've finally given up on that experiment, which is fair play to them. I'll never mark a team down for having a go. You know, try something different. That's how we had cars with 6 wheels on them in the past.
Yeah.
Love to see that come back.
It'll never.
I think the regulations actually just about make it illegal, don't they?
Yeah,
Much like the fan car. The fan car will never come back either.
No, because he got sick of that spitting stones at everybody.
Yeah, and when you mentioned Mike Crack, I was actually going to make the Conor Moore reference of, yeah, he's got to go and talk to his asshole.
Yeah, that's why I just called him Mike. I didn't give him, even though I called James Vals, I'm not going to put his full name in there because one of you pillocks will pick that one up.
I knew exactly who you were talking about, and I was going to make the joke, and it was just like, yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't setting you that one up. You're going to have to work for it. Poor guy. His parents must really have not liked him.
I am going to say, if you haven't seen any of Conor Moore, go look him up on YouTube, guys. Honestly.
Oh, genius. Absolute
It
genius.
is absolutely hilarious. Some of the stuff that he's done, I mean, like I said, I like when he does Gunther. When he does his Gunther impressions.
It's the science one, and it's so amazing. It's amazing how far it is from his actual voice.
Yeah.
yeah. You think he's Irish?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But when he's doing the Carlos Sainz, and he's absolutely spot on.
Yeah, but to have, it's like when he was actually doing that thing with F1, wasn't it? If you remember, and then Sainz turns up, and then
Yeah.
you can, when he starts speaking like Sainz, and then Sainz actually Carlos speaks, it's like, wow, okay. It's just Carlos's reaction when he goes, I want to know what his real voice sounds like, and then then he comes out in his normal voice, and he goes, oh my god, that's, it's just, honest to God.
Oh, the one where he's ignored Russell's gear and helmet, trying to convince
Toto.
Please, until Russell then walks in.
Fair play to Toto and George for getting in on it.
You got to.
Well, teams these days know that social media is such a big part of
Yeah.
what they're doing that they've got to. Every team will now have a social media manager because you have to.
Yeah, but it's like even when Conor Moore met Dominicali as well. It's just like fair play to him.
Yeah.
And
If they're like, first I was a smooth operator, I'm like, my car is on fire.
But using things like social media is getting the sport out there a lot more.
Oh, I saw the thing at the start of the race. Was it attendance nearly 350,000?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Say what you like about Liberty Media. They've been the sports profile in America.
Yeah, but it's not just that though, is it? Like, Drive to Survive does have a little bit of an influence into it. You may not agree with that.
Oh no, I agree. I've always said it's bringing people into the sport, and that's not a bad thing. I said it's not for me. I don't particularly enjoy it, but that's not. The whole thing doesn't revolve around me. I'm quite willing to accept that for now.
I just can't wait till we're sat here in a couple of months. Well, few months' time and talking about how cringy Las Vegas is gonna be.
I was thinking it's gonna be genius, but it's because it's Vegas.
Yeah.
I've told you, I still wish I could make it work and be out there. I would freaking do a lot to be out there for that.
Yeah, have you got over $7 grand?
No,
Exactly.
exactly. You know, if any of these sponsorship deals for the podcast, by the way, want us to do a live podcast from Vegas,
Yeah, that would be good.
you know, just slide on into Chris's DMs. He'll,
You need free
Slide,
tickets.
slide it into the email.
yeah, you know, slide it into, you know, not a snowball in hell's chance at GameTimeUK.com.
But don't forget, guys, obviously, with this podcast being on Spotify, you can also listen to it on Amazon Music and Samsung Podcasts. What? I had to.
No, not arguing.
But we've like completely sidetracked like usual, haven't we? I mean, fair play to Ferrari. I'll give them that. 4th and 5th.
Yeah. With what at one point looked like a bold strategy, Cotton, but
Was a very, very bold strategy. But Perez couldn't make any ground.
And I was about to say, what has happened to Perez yet again?
He's lost confidence.
yeah, I was giving answers. He just seemed to be a little bit off the ball ever since. Because even at one point he was like 6 points off Max.
Yeah. That's what I mean. It's just like, what is he now?
A lot. It's 50 odd in it.
Max is 195, Perez is 126. And Alonso's catching him. Alonso's 117.
So yeah, it's 50 odd.
Yeah, but I feel sorry for Perez because there's been all this shit going around saying, oh, Perez is running the risk of losing his seat. And I mean, that can't be helping the guy if he's actually seeing this stuff.
It's just he's got to find that confidence again.
The thing is, we all know he's got it. When he hooks it up, we all know he has got it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we're hitting a point where by the time he does find it again, he's going to be too little too late.
Yeah.
But who would they bring in? They won't. Surely they won't put Danny Rick back in that car.
No, no. Albon's still technically a Red Bull driver, is he not?
He's only sponsorship by them.
Yeah, but that can probably still pull some strings if he keeps performing as he's been doing. But
Well, it could do, but what's the why bring him back into it?
yeah, I don't think Yuki's
Yuki's
showing.
nowhere near. They can't. Like I said, they had a perfect.
De Vries is nowhere near.
They had a perfect opportunity with Gasly, but Alpine poached him.
Mm.
They're kind of stuck unless they.
They're in a similar boat to Merck. We've had this discussion before about Mercedes.
Well, yeah, because would Mick be ready to jump in?
Love to see Mick in them, Mark. You know, that drove for them when they first joined the sport.
Yeah, but I agree. I don't know.
But
You wouldn't want to put Mick straight in the main Merc. You'd want to like power him off in a Williams for a couple of years, or really.
yeah,
You got to us all three of the top teams right now. I don't know if we're in for the last few years we've not had a lot of young drivers come through.
Aston Martin have got Drugovich,
who has had no F1 experience.
Well, he's had no F1 experience, but
I don't think even with Aston Martin, I don't think Stroll will go, and Alonso definitely won't go at the moment. They won't get rid of him. And obviously Stroll.
Alonso won't go until he decides he's had enough and he wants to go.
Yeah,
And I think he's clearly having enough fun at the moment for that not to be an option for a while.
you can tell he's having fun.
And considering where he is in the driver's standings right now.
Yeah. Considering he's there smack talking Verstappen before racing.
That's it. I'm not gonna, I'm gonna be on the podium of every single race now for the rest of the season. We know he can do it. He's
Yeah.
got the car.
It's a tall
Yeah,
order. I mean, okay.
He was almost doing the Fast and Furious, dude, I almost had you.
Hmm.
I mean, he said he was basically doing 70 qualifying laps throughout the race just to keep Hamilton behind him.
He was lifting and coasting at one point during the race, though.
But most of the race, I think he was.
Yeah, but
Most of it.
I think he was having back brake issues.
He had problems with, I think it was his right rear brake duct.
Hmm.
Because even he said about that, he would have been challenging Max.
Yeah.
And Red Bull have admitted they didn't have the greatest of races for some reason. Their car does not suit Canada. Well, that gets me thinking, will it suit Austria?
Oh, they're going to turn it.
Oh.
Don't forget Austria's their track.
Austria's their
Yeah.
track.
They're going to turn everything up to 12 for that.
I got a feeling the car doesn't like high-speed corners. Canada has got more high-speed corners than just slow speed. Yeah, we've got the two heavy, we've got we've got two real heavy braking areas, but that's it. Well, you've got the roughly same in Austria, where you don't really have heavy. You've got two really heavy braking areas with one straight between.
Like I said, they don't going to let anything happen on their circuit.
I
No.
reckon Aston Martin's definitely going to give them a run for the money there. New upgrades are working.
Yeah.
Hopefully we see a return of Perez at Austria.
By the way, speaking, we mentioned Hamilton during that. How the hell did he get away with that unsafe release?
Same as Norris.
They probably should have both got a penalty. But for God's sake, he nearly put Fernando Alonso in the wall.
Who?
Hamilton.
Well, Norris. Yeah, but like Norris had to, when even Norris with his going down the left-hand side, and the only reason he had to come out was because otherwise he would have clonked a Ferrari pit crew. I'm going to say it, but the consistency really wasn't there again with the steward in.
I think Mercedes got seriously looking because from the onboard of Alonso's car, it was clear cut.
When they showed it, yeah.
I mean, me and Alan spoke before, and I know he said they probably wouldn't have touched. But if you're close enough that you're causing the guy to react the way he did, the touch is irrelevant. You've still come out too close in my book.
Yeah. And it's like Norris when he ended up going alongside whoever it was. I can't remember who it was. But it's just like.
Although Norris did get a 5-second penalty for unsportsmanship behaviour.
I'm glad
Yeah, that was nothing to do with it. That was nothing to do with.
That up.
But it wasn't unsportsmanship behaviour. It was a safety car infringement.
Once again, Kravitz was doing his nut over that one.
When he just.
Well, it was Russell. Obviously, Russell's crash that ended up causing it because when he caused his damage.
Yeah.
And this is what the stewards have said about it. So, handing down Norris's 5-second penalty for unsportsmanlike behaviour At 15:23 Montreal time, just over an hour after the infringement was carried out, it took them a fucking hour, for Christ's sake. The stewards cited Article 12.2.1 of the International Sporting Code. I've still not got that and read it yet. As they sanctioned the McLaren driver, writing, the stewards reviewed the positioning stroke marshalling system data, video timing telemetry, team radio and in-car video evidence. During the safety car period, the driver, Norris, slowed to allow a gap to form between his teammate in car 81 and him. In doing so, he delayed the cars behind. There was a significant difference speed between car 4 and car 81 in turns 10 and 13, approximately 50 kilometers an hour. Article 12.2.1 of ISC refers to any infringement of the principles of fairness in competition behaviour in an unsportsmanlike manner or attempt to influence the result of a competition in a way that is contrary to the sporting ethics.
Sorry, folks, he won't stop. I tried.
So
Basically, all he was trying to do was build a gap between him and Piastri so they could double stack nicely.
did you watch after the race in the pen?
No, I didn't see any of that.
No.
When he was interviewed, Norris was asked, can't remember whether it was Rachel or whoever, basically turned around and said, he basically turned around and said to him, "Oh, it's not just me that was doing it, not just me that has done it in the past. So why, you know?" He got quite shitty about it, to be honest. And he was like, he just had a bit of a an attitude on him. Not such of an attitude, but a
We know drivers do it, but I think
You
slow
don't,
down
do it enough to get caught.
Yeah. By all means, you can slow down, but I think he just slowed down that little bit too much, which is why he got that penalty.
yeah, but he wasn't doing it. The problem is the way they're saying is they've done it so they could double stack. I think he was just doing it so he create a gap so he could end up slowing down, speeding up to get some heat in his tyres. But
Well, no, because he'd done it as he's pitting, so he wouldn't make any difference whether he's getting heat in the tyres if he's about to pit for a new set of tyres.
Yeah, he was just trying to build a gap. They wanted to make sure that they had time for Piastri to stop and the team to get his set of tyres out. And
If he had brand new tyres on, fair enough, yeah. But he was just about to pit, so therefore no point worrying about getting heat in those tyres because just about to change them.
yeah,
but I know they won't appeal it. And then obviously after that, Norris went on to give us some more action at least.
Oh, yeah.
The only thing that got quite confusing, because Crofty and, was it Crofty or is it Brundle? One of them said, "Oh, the penalty's had already been applied."
Yeah.
But he hadn't finished the race.
About 3-4 laps to go, and I'm thinking their system that they see in front of them had been updated with a final end result.
Yeah.
And even they were confused by it all because the race hadn't finished.
So that seemed a bit odd.
Oh, yeah, at this point, glossing over the two cars going for a frolic down the escape road at one point.
What are you on about? De
I did say it's
Vries.
De Vries and an Alpha Tauri, wasn't it? Not De Vries Alpha Tauri. Alpha Tauri was a Haas, wasn't it? Hulk.
One of them. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Has was right behind and blocked the AlphaTauri in.
And took them quite a while to get out of the escape road.
They got the line of marshals there to let them know if it's clear behind them.
Yeah, because you don't have reversing cameras on them. We don't have that great of mirrors.
No. And I expected a little bit more action from Canada, if I'm honest.
Yeah, it was a good race. It was. It had some interesting moments, but yeah, normally Canada delivers us a lot more excitement than.
Hoping for a bit of a mixture in the weather.
Yeah.
I think that was it. Yeah, I think a bit of rain would have
Spiced
really
it up a
changed
little bit
things up.
more. And is there anything that
I mean, that podium was, you couldn't make that up, you know. Newey, Alonso, Verstappen, and Hamilton. An amazing podium.
Yeah,
cool down room was a bit awkward. Don't know if you saw that.
I don't think I actually did know that was
Yeah,
started doing something.
a little bit
What, they're talking
awkward.
about rear ends.
No, it was a little bit awkward between Hamilton and Max. It seemed before Alonso got there.
Alonso was very quiet.
Yeah. Yeah, but wasn't Alonso and Hamilton teammates at one point?
Yeah,
Yeah.
McLaren.
And they hated each other.
Exactly. So.
But they got enough respect for each other.
Hmm.
Those two can have some really good battles,
Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
which is what we want to see. Those battles now, you know, we know the cars can chase a lot closer, and I think that's what's going to cause a lot of these battles in the races is the speed.
Hmm.
As people say, nobody cares about first anymore. It's second, third, and below.
Yeah.
Mm.
And that's where the battles are.
Definitely. But yeah, I think we had a deserved driver of the day for Albon. I think he drove it well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I voted for Alonso.
I actually forgot to vote, I'll honestly admit, but
I did vote for Alonso at the beginning, but then obviously watching Albon, just phenomenal racing from him.
yeah.
Probably all that experience at DTM and all.
He just feels comfortable in that car, and you can see that.
Oh yeah.
So, anything else? Is there anything you want to add, David?
Not from Canada, no, not really. Obviously we've got the fantasy league to finish. Gee,
Yep. I haven't seen the scores, so I'm going to be quite interested for that. So if you just give me 1 second, guys, I need to just do that, and then we go to here. Okay.
I think I gained something like 10 points on you. Not a lot, but
Well, I got 216. You
yeah,
got 245.
also, yes, one of Alan's came second with 235. Yeah, so my bad. Is that the second win in a row for me?
Yep, it is. You got 245. Then
with
it was
one
Alan.
less point than I got at Spanish Grand Prix.
Yeah. So, like, overall, Alan's about, what, 200 and odd behind you at the moment.
There's a lot of points to go. Yeah.
There's still a lot of points on offer, though.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. One good weekend for him, and I think he could be.
Yeah.
Although I think we've a lot of crossovers in people, so I think it's impossible for one of us to
Well, you've got
absolutely fly.
Perez, Alonso, Norris, Sainz, and Ocon. Red Bull, Aston Martin. That was yours.
I've got Hamilton, Verstappen, Norris, Alonso, Stroll,
Yeah, but,
with Aston Martin, McLaren.
yeah, but you've got more teams than us.
This is on my main one.
Yeah, you're the one who decided to enter every team.
Whereas, like I say, I've got Max. I had 2 times down on Alonso.
Nah, mine's on Perez as it always is.
Mine's on Max, my 2 times.
Ocon got me some points. Stroll got me 9, and Bottas got me 6.
I actually had no negatives this race, which is always nice. Even Norris managed to get me 2 points.
Yeah.
For one of Alan's teams, his GT UK Alan team, he had a negative of 12 because of Russell not finishing.
Mm.
So, I mean, yeah, we've still got.
I almost wonder if this fantasy league, if the budget's a little too high. Because it seems to be really easy to get a lot of very top players.
No. So, there is a little trick to it. When you look at your team, you've got apply chips.
Yeah, I know about the chips. We've been through that. I mean, when we first started it, I mean, the budget you seem to have. I mean, I've got 5. I've only got 5 from the top half of the grid.
And you've still
To me,
got and you've still got 1.1 mil left.
To me, that there shouldn't be enough. You should be able to get 1, maybe 2 from the top, unless you want to absolutely have the bottom of the bottom.
Yeah, but you wouldn't. I think the reason why the budget is the way it is the fact that. Because if you did it the way you're on about, it's like you're not really going to get anywhere.
Well, it would cause you to have to balance a lot more, because then you'd be like, right, you want Max, but he could be half your budget in one go.
I mean, I've got 3.6 million on my team, cost cap wise.
Yeah. You know, you want Max, or you want Hamilton, or you want, Perez or Leclerc. They're like over half your budget, so if you want them, you have to make serious compromises
Yeah.
somewhere else.
I don't know. It's just the way they seem to have done it.
The way they've done it, and it's working, right?
Yeah, but the fantasy football used to be the same. There was a fantasy football league that I used to do, and that used to be quite the same. Used to give you an insane budget, but then you were always still balancing it out, like we have been doing with the fantasy Formula One thing. You got anything you want to round out with, Alan?
No, it was wasn't the best of Canada races we've seen in the past, but it was still a good race.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
Well, we are gonna leave this one here. So the next podcast Obviously, as you know, this will come out on a Friday, and it'll be this Friday actually. Come out on this Friday.
No, it won't. Oh, this won't go this Friday. I was say we're a fortnight between.
Yeah, but this one will come out this Friday, and then
Yeah,
the next one will be Austria
yeah.
on the 30th to the 2nd. And it's quite good timing and not well. Oh crap. Okay. We will have a lot to probably talk about. Except David will miss the sprint shootout yet again.
I might not.
Saturday at 12.
I'll record and watch it Saturday night or something.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's another sprint, so we might have a bit to talk about, or we might not, because it might turn into a procession like it did last sprint race. Oh dear.
Oh, come back here to find out.
Yep. Don't forget to obviously like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Well, watching stroke listening on YouTube. Don't forget the links for the channel is in the bio if you're on Spotify and Amazon and on Samsung as well. The Samsung podcast. Appreciate everybody that has been listening in, downloading, and everything so far to this podcast. We did this as a little bit of a stab, and it's been great fun actually to do this. And it's opened up our eyes, I think, to quite interesting stuff. So, yeah, we shall see you next time. So, until then.
Adios, amigos.
So long and thanks for all the fish.
Goodbye for now.